I'm sorry, I'm back. I'm back. I had some, I don't know, technical difficulties, so I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. So, I'm sorry, I'm back. Just had some difficulties trying to organize some stuff. It's flipped. But as I was talking about, if come on in, come on in, I'm trying to give you insights in terms of job applications for the tech industry, and specifically my journey is to look into the data side, and I'm applying to jobs related to data, and from data science, machine learning, data analyst, all the certain roles, and then basically seeing not only the timeline but how long it is for me to basically get certain roles and certain jobs. So at 40, doing all this, but focusing on that timeline to show people it's not an instantaneous reach to think you can get a job in like 2 weeks, but you have to have connections and all that. But right now, I'm not using any of my networks. Right now, I'm just applying and then trying to build my network from my application itself. So this is my first. This is my. Let me make sure I have it. These are my first. The jobs I'm applying for Goldman Sachs. So yeah, I'm sorry I had to just jump bad connections, but these are the jobs I currently applied for Goldman Sachs. As you can see, I applied to several jobs and I submitted these jobs. So what's actually going on right now in these jobs? So let's look at the first one. Let's blow it up a little bit. Let's see it because again, I told you I was going to be as transparent as I can get. So I applied this in '07 last month, 11th, and as you can see, it's still under review. I applied to one, two, three, four, five jobs for Goldman Sachs, and they were in Virginia, New York, New York, New York, and this is in New York. So let's look at the status of this. So the first one in Virginia, it's still under review. Basically, the application is under review. So someone is basically sitting in someone's desk at this point, and this is still submitted, but it's not under review. This is still under review. This is under review, but this one is important. I was turned down. I was denied the application. I didn't meet the qualification to be an asset wealth management quantitative equity solutions client portfolio manager. As a vice, I wasn't qualified. So basically, my application was turned down. So this is just for Goldman Sachs, and the rest is under review. And this was done last month, and it's been a month, and I've gotten for Goldman Sachs. This has been okay. I've been denied. Now the question comes into play is now I've been denied. Do I just give up? No. It's still just one application. There are still application here, still being under review and all that. So my strategy is still going to LinkedIn and trying to basically talk to recruiters and all that in Goldman Sachs, and also talk to people who actually work in Goldman Sachs. So that's my strategy for Goldman Sachs currently. But as you can see, this is I've been denied, and this job it says I'm not qualified, so I'm not getting even an interview. So this is just to even get into the interview process, and I wasn't qualified enough to even get an interview for this. So my next The next part is, what am I going to basically do from here? What am I doing from here? What is this next strategy to basically go from here? Simple. I'm going to tell you what I've done so far. It's this. I've Goldman Sachs isn't just one company. My strategy right now is I'm applying to every company that needs a data scientist or any a data analyst or data visualization analyst. So I've applied to from Netflix to Centra to I've applied to a lot of jobs. And the goal is to show everybody that, hey, I might have gotten like 4, 5, 6 offers, but I had I might have gotten like 50, 60 rejections. So what I'm going to do is document that. And I'm going to show you with emails, hey, these are the rejection piles. And I've got an interviews, this is what I'm doing. But currently, as you can see with Goldman Sachs, I haven't gotten an interview and it's been a month. So why am I showing you this is that this is a numbers game. So what you have to do is not just not apply to just one company or just one position. I mean, you need to apply to a lot of companies, a lot of positions. You need to flood your resumes to every qualified job or jobs you don't think you qualify for, and then apply to all these jobs and then see what happens. If I put my eggs in just one basket and say Goldman Sachs is the company I want to work for, and I just basically said I'm not applying to any other job. If I do that, means what? I'm just gonna wait for Goldman Sachs. No, that's not logical. You will get a lot of rejections. Believe me, I'm expecting at least one interview out of this. To be honest with you, and when I was really trying to, I would have applied to 20 positions in Goldman Sachs, 20 in, I mean, right now what I'm doing is showing you what I'm applying to right now. Goldman Sachs, I'm being selective in jobs I really think I really want. And then I'm applying everywhere from Netflix, Amazon, applying to Meta. I'm applying not only the FANG companies, but also applying to insurance companies, healthcare companies, hospitals. I'm applying to everywhere. I think the goal is to get these jobs and get me noticed and then start getting interviews and then show you how that process is. But right now with Goldman Sachs, I only got I already got turned down, but I only right now I'm still waiting for a month. So the question is, if you really put your, if you're not showing your talent, don't put it in one basket. Stop fanning your resumes out there. Right now, I have one rejection and all the rest of my application in Goldman Sachs. As you can see, it's under review, meaning under review, not so meaning it's sitting in someone else's desk waiting to be reviewed, seeing if I can get an interview. So why is this important? Don't put your egg in one basket. Make sure you have it in different places. I'll show you. See, currently right here, let me show you if you're seeing it. Humana. This is a job, Principal Technology Solutions. Something I can apply to, or right here, a business intelligence lead. It's remote in Louisville, but it's still remote. So these are the jobs I'm applying to basically not limit myself to just one company and to give me that timeline. So what is my timeline? My timeline could be 6, 7 months and all that. So this is just the aspect of it. But this is what's going on. So now let me proceed to some other aspect. So in the data in big data, there are jobs out here. So let's look at certain job aspects. So I went to Indeed and I looked at certain jobs in the data field and trying to show you that there's so much jobs. And this is just I did remote versus non-remote. So when I say there are jobs out there are a lot of jobs, and it's always coming out every day. So this is for a data visualization individual person, and this you need Tableau, Power BI, but this for data visualization. As you can see, there's 6,333 jobs, fully remote. 633 jobs for data visualization professional. So 633 jobs for a data visualization individual. 633. So, and this is remote. This is not, if you remove the remote and just for search, there are 27,000 data visualization for data visualization, 27,000. 707 jobs for data visualization. Now, if you do remote, it basically dwindles down to 6,000. So there are jobs out here, and this is for just data visualization. Let's look at data analyst. There are 17,613 jobs for data analyst. For data analyst job, and Indeed, 17,613. These are the amount of jobs there. And if we decide to put it remote, okay, I love remote jobs too. There are 2,365 remote data analyst jobs. So it just depends. And let's look at data scientists. There are 10,491 jobs. That's for data scientists. If we put remote, there are 1,851. So there are jobs out here, but you just need to know, just need to basically upskill yourself and apply. And these are jobs that pay, I mean, for data analysts, the average pay is 85 to 110. I've seen 120, 130. Let's look at it. Let's look at some of the jobs. This is one of the jobs for a data analyst. It pays 117. Senior actual analyst pays 150. Legal affairs, remote hybrid 121. Data assets analyst 55 to 69K. Compensation analyst 120. Senior data analyst healthcare 115. So these are the jobs out here. Business analyst 70K, 60 to 80K, 59 and 95. Let's even look at the remote aspect of it. This is actually remote, and this is how much they pay for remote jobs. 70K, 80K, 90K, 95, $51 an hour, 7,392 a month. These are, and this is in Dallas. This is in Texas. Data system analyst, 4,551 to 7,392 a month for a data analyst position, fully remote. 125. This for hybrid remote. Texas. This is a remote. The healthcare industry is getting big, so this is remote. The data analyst, Texas Health and Human Services Commission, remote. 5,000 to $8,465 a month. This is a remote role, a fully remote role that pays that much. A data analyst, a remote role. And it's easy to apply. Just click apply now and go through it. I might apply for it. I will probably. So these are the roles that are here. Fully remote, data analyst job, paying you 5,161, and you basically in your jammies and basically making this money being a data analyst. The money's out here. There's no. This is a fully remote. Remote. This. So the money's out here, and we just need to move from that mindset. So as you can see, there are three. You've seen the three different jobs I've seen: data visualization professional, where you just need Tableau, data analyst, data scientist. However, let's look at entry level. You even have it entry level. Let's look at entry level. Remote entry level. You have 270 jobs for data analyst. Remote entry level. 80K, 90K, 110K. Remote entry level. 113. Healthcare data analyst. Remote entry level. 105K. These are remote and entry level. Again, business analyst. Remote entry level. 93K, 95K, 68K, 90K, 60K, 65, 78, 1,000, 3,000 a month, remote, entry level. 40 to 45 an hour, 60K. And this is remote entry level. Entry level. So 100K, 69K. So my question to you is, after you do this remote 6, 7, 8 months, maybe a year, do you think you can go on to a more senior role or all that? And this is just remote entry level. So I don't know what to tell you. This is the data realm is huge, and there's a lot of money to be made in this. So now next will be 6 popular data analytics certification and certificates. And to be honest with you, I don't have any of them. I have none. But I think they're important, and I think it's needed. And even though I don't have any, I know people who have at least one or two, and it's easier for them to get into the entry data side for Walmart, Amazon, and all that for data analysts. So learn all that, learn the stuff I tell you to learn, basic statistics, the basic of basic, SQL, and then one visualization to Tableau or Power BI. You should pick one. And just do this Google Data Analytics course and apply. You can apply as entry level, get you a 95K job, or you can say, look, I've been in healthcare I've been a nurse, or I've been somewhere in healthcare. I understand how the healthcare works, and I have the acumen for healthcare. This is just an extra layer of my skill. Then you can look into the senior role where you can make 130, 140, 150, 160. If we go into the data science role, where you can make 250, 300K. So certs like this, the Google certs, I've looked at it. It's a great cert to have. It's a great tool, so that can help you, especially in the data field. And if you start looking into moving into data science and all that, this Google Data Analytics cert is actually great. IBM, I've worked with a lot of IBM folks. This is a good cert too. Microsoft Power BI, as I said, visualization tool, Power BI or Tableau, that's a good cert. AWS, yeah. SAS, Statistical Business Analyst, CompTIA has one, and those are the certs, the six certs that you can look. I don't say you need to get all of it. Maybe get one, and I'm not saying you need to study 30 days to get one. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have a cert, and I'm looking at getting a cert, but I'm looking at the lazy man route. And when I say lazy man route, I might take my time, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, study and take the cert. But again, while I'm taking the cert, I'm applying. The cert is just, hey, I'm I'm proficient. But to actually do the job, you need to actually know what you're doing. So again, if you saw my job, it took a month and I haven't had anybody back. So during this time, I can study for my cert and start looking into different areas. So yeah, Google data. Take your time. When I say take your time, I'm not saying take your whole time, and I'm biased in that because again, I have a bias in that. But please, when I say take your time, but take your time being proactive. Take your time. Make sure you're taking your time and also applying to jobs. Taking your time doesn't mean you just stop applying. Take your time. When anybody asks you to interview, hey, do you have any certs? This is what I would say. Currently, I do not have any certs, but I'm in the process of actually taking a cert. I've paid for the exam. I'm studying for the certification exam, and I'm confident I'll basically pass. But right now, I'm preparing to actually take the cert. Those are what I say in the interview when I'm doing because I am preparing to take the cert. But my certification is I'm not trying to be like everybody. Nowadays, I'm seeing everybody having 5, 10 certs. I'm like, you really don't need that much, maybe one or two, and brush it off and say, hey, most of the time, nobody even asks me about certification in interviews. All they ask me is, how does a neural network work, or how do you how do you utilize machine learning to do this aspects of this or this. Nobody asks me about what certs and all that I have. So, but when in any case the HR individual asks you, say, look, I don't have any certs, but I have registered for it, and I'm about to take the exams for it. That's all. You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't really need to say I have a cert, then I start applying. Nah, the cert is just to confirm your knowledge that you have basic knowledge and understanding of that subject. It doesn't tell you can do the job. So as you prepare for the cert, please at the same time start be applying at the same time. So those are the six those are the six certs in the data side, the Google Analytics, all that are great. Now let's look at something. First things first. When I tell you I prepare, I'm not joking. I prepare. So currently, if you look at this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at called when I say I'm preparing to take a cert, but at the same time I'm preparing, looking at everything. Currently, I'm reading on a subject called graphical neural network. It's a huge application for Facebook utilizes this as a way to basically figure out a link between you and other people and then predict some outcomes in it. But this is a huge graphical neural network. And I'm studying it right now. I spend an hour right now. Once I'm done with you guys, I spend an hour basically looking at this and trying to decipher what I need to get. So when I say you need to prepare, I'm doing the same thing. I prepare 3 hours a day, morning, afternoon, night. I'm doing breakfast. It's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And dinner time, this is what I'm going to be studying. So when I say you have to prepare, I'm doing it too. I'm preparing while while preparing to take these shows, but I'm also applying at the same time. So, but let's look at one. I think this should be final. Um, Average. Okay, let's look at the salary guide for data analysts. So, according to for data analysts, these are the salary guides for data analysts. So we have a 98,000 for 2 to 4 years, 112. And I always tell this, take this with a pinch of salt, because you can you can make way more than this if you, and especially if you're remote. So just take this with a pinch of salt. But these are the average salaries, and be honest with you, these salaries are actually good right now. But I know people that make way more. I know people who work true remote jobs at 120, and they make a killing. Two remote jobs are 120. But again, you have to apply. It's not you sitting down there, and you have to apply at the same time. While you're applying, you're still skilling up and reading and understanding the subject. So yeah, pandas, NumPy, yeah, that's great. Matplotlib for Python, that's for data analytics. Yeah, you're doing great if you're doing that. Pandas, all that, those are great libraries for Python. NumPy, that. Then once you understand that, maybe after a year or something like that, you can move into the scikit-learn and all that good stuff in terms of machine learning and all good stuff. But right now, you're in a good path. NumPy, pandas, all that good stuff. And that's what data analytics. So, um, what what am I saying? That these salaries are the average salaries for data analysts. Now, if you want to be a data scientist, it's not that, I won't say it's difficult, but easy. But I know music majors who become data scientists after doing it on their own, um, doing it on their own and studying on their own. So I know a lot of data scientists, music, economics, math. I know psychology major. I know nurses that could make that kind of money. So the median 160, I think this is low, but I know people make more, way more than this. And I know people do it remotely too. So the average is 160. So I always tell people, if you go into data analyst, spend a year learning how that works. And after that year, please jump into data science, because now you have that background. When I always say, always look at the next role as quickly as possible. So if you're a data analyst, if you got a job with Amazon, cool. And you go there 3, 4 months, start looking at the data scientists, the people who do data science in there, start asking them questions. Your goal is to move out there in the next year, a year and a half, not jump ship, even stay in the company and go to a data science role or find another company. But your goal at that point is not only you doing the studying for data science at your own time, but also within the company, asking questions. Well, okay, you're a data scientist. What algorithms do you use in order to do your job? What data do you use? How do you cleanse the data? Okay, do you use cloud technology? How do you implement Kubernetes? How do you, I do the EDA, exploratory data analysis, as a data analyst. How does that play into your role as a data scientist? When you do, how does data visualization role? How do you do this? Do you use neural network? Do you use deep learning? Do you use machine learning? How far do I need to learn? That's when you start your job. The first 3 months is 4 months is to learn your own job. After that, start learning data science. And your goal is to, after a year, you need to be, you need to be, you need to be in the point where you need to say, okay, I need to be a data scientist. And that's my advice to give anybody when they start. Start with the data, go into the data analyst role, talk to people, get your money, and then move into machine learning. Yeah, I see the boot camps with they pay a lot, 10, 15K for a boot camp data science, and they barely teach you a lot. All my data science and all that, I had to learn it on my own. It took me 2 years, 3 years to actually be really good. And when I say my machine learning, I learned that in 6 months, but I went far. I went to the deep learning, reinforcement learning, swarm algorithms. I went to numerical analysis. I went deep, and that's what I did. But for machine learning, you can learn in 6 months. Learn all the three categorical algorithms, like not category, but three algorithms: the clustering, the clustering, classification, and regression. You understand that aspect, you understand machine learning. But what I'm saying is this: it will take time, but you have to devise a plan. And that anybody who's working with me, I'll tell you this is the plan. If you want to go into data science and you have no experience, start with data analyst. Learn SQL and learn basic statistics. That should take you 3, 4 months. When I say basic, I mean basic of basic. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and maybe and correlation. That's it. Learn all that. Basic of basic. Then jump into data analyst. Start applying. Get a Google cert. Apply. Once you get the job, once you get an interview, spend 2, 3 months understanding your job as a data analyst. That 2, 3 months at the same time, start studying for machine learning. Start looking into the company, your machine learning engineers and all that. Start talking to them. Start getting insights into their job. Within 6, 7 months of that, start looking at how to either go into the job and see how you can apply to their job, machine learning job in there, or see how you can apply to another job outside. Your goal is a year and a half, you need to move from a data analyst to a machine learning engineer, a data scientist. A year and a half tops. While you're at the job as a data analyst, you need to go from that to machine learning engineer. You need to go from your 95, 90 to 160 to 200K, utilizing a year and a half. And it's done. I know people who did data analysts, spent 6, 7 months to a year, jump ship, went from 70K, they doubled their salary, they tripled they went from 70 to I think 150, 160, just from a year and a half from doing the data analyst job. And that's what you should strive for. Make that plan. And that's how I basically show. That's my own plan. I have different plans. But again, your goal is to say, how can I back engineer my success? What do I need to do? How much do I need? How much do I need to make? That's what I ask myself. How much do I need to make this year? How can I engineer it to where I can make it? What do I need to do? What skills do I need to have? What jobs do I need to start applying to? And timeline. Give yourself a timeline. And if you don't meet the timeline, readjust it. It's not set in stone. It's something that changes. Your life is not stagnant, so your plan shouldn't be stagnant. adjust till you get the success. And that's as simple as I can tell you. It's it's out here. I know people just with no background, no nothing, get one cert, no degree, get one cert, and get into a data science role. And people say it's impossible. I'm like, you put in too much emphasis on it, thinking that these roles are so high level that you can get in there. Don't get me wrong. Some of the jobs you can't, like Netflix paying you 900K. You need some certifications and all this stuff to back it. You have to get a 900K job from Netflix. But it's an investment. The question is, what are you willing to invest? Right now, I'm going to tell you, I'm investing in AWS. I'm investing in courses. I have books I bought, and also I'm paying someone to basically train me in terms of communication and all that. And that's why this YouTube is learning how to communicate. Communication is key. So all this is just tied into all this. So I'm not going to keep you here long. I'm just showing you my progress. Hey, I'm going to apply to a lot of jobs. And yes, the whole tech at 40, that's what I am. Tech at 40, trying to make that 6 figures. But looking at different aspects of it. But I'm going to be putting out videos coming out soon in terms of how I'm doing it, in terms of plans and all that. But this is what it is. I'm trying to make that 600K, 900K. So please, this is what it is. Don't be scared about anything. I'm not. I apply. Again, I'll show you, as time goes by, I'll show you all the rejections I have. And again, all the successes, but I'm not going to show you only success. I'm going to show you a pile of rejections. There's going to be a pile. But that shouldn't discourage you. That should say, okay, I'm not the best fit for them, but I know somewhere else I'm going to be the best fit. And just keep going. But this was just a quick live while I need to go back to my studies and then hit the hay and just take it easy. But I just said I need to do this before I start hitting my studies and try to do this. But please, there's a lot of money out here. There's a lot. Try to get and see where you fit. It's difficult at this point. Look, I'm here. It's 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock at night, and I'm studying at night at 40. I could be chilling with watching a movie, Netflix, having a beer or having a drink, and taking it easy. But why? 40, 40, I'm on people that are 40, 30, 35, 40, 20s. These are your prime time to make moves to basically make the money and do other stuff. But that means you have to sacrifice some time. And yeah, I could be out taking it easy, spending time with friends, or chilling again on the couch, just watching all my shows and all that. But I'm here looking at graphical neural networks, trying to figure out how that basically ties into convolutionary neural net. I'm trying to figure it out. If I can figure it out, do you think they're not going to pay me to implement some of that stuff? Because I already have ideas on what to implement them. So this is what it is. There's sacrifices to be made. I'm leaving here, going straight into hidden books. I have statistics open, everything. Hit the books, and after an hour, I take off and go get me a little rest. But this is it. And I'm going to continue doing this till I make that money. But it's not only about money, but money is important. I'm just going to keep you 100. Money is important. But it takes time to actually learn all this. And it takes sacrifices. And you will not get it instantaneously. I'll be honest with you, it takes time. But as you grow in the career, you build connections, you build relationships. It gets easier to then start getting jobs that pay 150, 180, 190, 200, 250, 300. Because you're building connections. You're building, okay, anybody who meets you, he knows what he's doing. He's passionate about data. Or he can break that data set and break that equation and give you everything you need. He's the man. And that builds your name to the point where now you offering him that money, you offering him 170. Nah, that's not enough for him. You need to bring more money for that. So again, please, it's out there. Study, learn, and don't be afraid to fail. I failed a lot. I'm still failing. So study, learn, fail, and repeat that session and rinse, repeat that, and keep you going. So again, thanks for coming in. Thanks for sharing. Please hit the like button, and I'll be dropping videos during the week on certain aspects on how I got into data, how I list my skills down, and all that good stuff, and what I'm trying to do. How am I trying to get into the certification? What certification I'm going to get, and the timeline. Everything is a timeline. You should have a timeline in everything. My timeline right now, in terms of this six-figure experiment or this job I'm trying to do, is I'm giving myself from the day I turned 40, which was April, till next year when I turn 40, I need that six figures. So the experiment is from now to the April, can I get another six-figure job? A six-figure job. So that's the goal. Now to April. And a month has already gone. I haven't received anything yet. So I'll be keeping everybody abreast of it, and we go from there. So thank you for coming out, and I'll see you